I have another video to share with you for my February to read book list. So I've got a lot of books that I have set aside for this month. I don't know if I'm going to get through all of them because this is a short month, but I am going on a business trip this month, so hopefully I'll have some extra time to read a couple of these books. I've actually already started reading one, so I'm feeling good about it. So let me show you what I'm going to be reading. I'm starting with Praying in Color. This has been on my to-read list for a long time. I finally got the book as a Christmas present 2 years ago, and I still haven't read it, so it's been a long time coming for this one. A friend of mine had also been reading it, and she recommended it, and I thought it sounded really interesting, a sort of more of a creative way to pray instead of just kind of sitting and letting your mind wander because you can't focus and you don't know what to say. The author of this book basically suggests doodling and using that art form as a way to really focus on what you're trying to say, focus on who you're trying to pray for, what you're trying to pray for, and then you end up with these really interesting artistic doodles you can see on the back of the book. She has an example of what one might look like. You can do it as a grid. There are lots of different ways you can do it and lots of different applications that you can use it for. So I'm almost actually done with it. It's a very short book, and it kind of just takes you step by step through how to do this Praying in Color exercise. So I haven't started trying to do it yet, but I am eager to get some markers and pens and a journal and try it out. I also decided to go back to my advanced reader copy pile from 2018 at Book Expo because I still have some review copies that I just never got around to reading and reviewing in time for the book's release dates. But I still want to read them because I picked them up at Book Expo because I thought they sounded interesting. So the one that I picked for this month is When the Men Were Gone by Marjorie Herrera Lewis. And this was recommended to me as a book club book. I know I've talked about it before in my Book Expo video recap, so definitely look back on the YouTube channel for those videos. It takes place in 1944, and obviously that's during a wartime. The men are gone, so who's going to be handling football? I think this it's actually a female takes over coaching the team, I think is what happens. So I'm interested in reading this one. I think it sounds really exciting and very girl power, women power type of thing. So if you have a book club, this might be a good one. It came out in, when did it come out? It came out in October. So it's been out for a while, so it's probably going to be really easy to find at your library or in your bookstore. I also grabbed a couple library books. This first one is Your Healthiest Healthy, subtitled 8 Easy Ways to Take Control, Help Prevent and Fight Cancer, and Live a Longer, Cleaner, Happier Life. It's from Samantha Harris. I actually had no idea who she was. She hosted Dancing with the Stars for several seasons. I had no idea. But she's a breast cancer survivor, and she writes this book in collaboration, there's a foreword by a doctor, but she writes this book as a way to help you just lead a healthier life, get more energy, fight off toxins, fight off the badness. I think this was maybe reviewed in a magazine or something that I read, and I thought it sounded really interesting because, I've known people in my family who have died from cancer, and I thought maybe this book might have some good tips on how to really just be healthy. And you want to be healthy, especially if you have kids, you want to be around for them for a long time. And so maybe there are some easy changes in this book that my family and I can put into our everyday routine. Then I also picked up The Girl in the Blue Coat by Monica Hesse. I don't actually, something that has to do, it says find her before the Nazis do, so it's something to do with Nazis and World War II. I don't actually know much else about it. It's been on my to-read list. I literally just went through my Goodreads to-read list and randomly picked a couple books to see if my library had them, and it did have this one. So I am excited to kind of refresh my memory as to why I had added this to my to-read list and see more about it. If I can read you a little. It takes place in 1943. There's a girl who's delivering black market goods, and it's sort of her rebellion from the Nazis. But on a routine delivery, a client asks her for help, and there's a Jewish teenager that they've been hiding, so then she has to kind of help them out a little bit. So I think this sounds really interesting, and I'll post a review on it when I'm done. Another library book I picked was Amy Bloom's White Houses. The last book I read by Amy Bloom was Away. I actually purchased this book. I think I read it as part of a book club, and I did like it. Haven't read anything from her since, so I'm excited to check out this book because it's all about the relationship between Eleanor Roosevelt and Lorena Hickok. Excuse me. My mom was really big on Eleanor Roosevelt, the story of her life. My mom thought she was just really great. So this would have definitely been a book that my mom would have wanted to read. It came out last summer, so it's going to be probably pretty easy for you to find at your library or on bookstore shelves. And the last book I picked up was The First Love Story, Adam, Eve, and Us. And this has been on my to-read list since 2017. That's when the book was published. I chose to put it on my to-read list because I thought it sounded really interesting as a study of the history of love and taking it all the way back to, you know, the first two humans, man and woman, on Earth. I can't wait to kind of see what the author has to say about love and relationships throughout history and how it all, you know, ties back to Adam and Eve. So I will definitely do a review of this book when I'm done. So that's my big stack of books. What are you guys reading this month, or what's on your to-read list? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe to my channel so you always see when I'm posting another book video or scrapbook process video, because I like to do those a lot too. And give this video a thumbs up like. All my social media links are below. I'm always posting about books and other crafty things on my social media, so I'd love to connect with you there. See you guys next time. Happy reading!